Evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Hello. I'm standing up again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Yet another CPI update, which could be fun. Could be great fun, actually, when we think about it. But we'll see how things do go. But yeah, like normal, say hello in the chat. It'd be nice to see everyone. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're expecting today in terms of potential CPI. In terms of the results, a lot of people thinking in the middle, which is kind of, I think, too. But we'll see. Depends what the data will spin. But if you're new around here, as always, leave a like, please. It will help massively. Let's try and get this channel doing something useful instead of... Yeah, I'm not going to mention any names. Because why not? So, let's have a little look at a few things. Oh, hello. Something's just happened on my trading view. Interesting. But yeah, printers go. Mental. Am I Graham Potter? Probably a bit better than him, actually. Sorry, Chelsea fans. I know Dan's listening. No one want me as manager, honestly. Chaos. But let's talk on the screen. Hello. I have my beautiful martini time chart, up and about, up and around today. So, information, what we need to know. Previous was 6.4, consensus is 6. That is for main inflation. All the other ones, as per Learning Crypto's trusty little economic calendar, we're expected a same sort of CPI month on month and roughly the same CPI year on year as well. So we'll see if those move as well. Could be very, very interesting. But with the narrative of bank fears, bullish markets, CZ putting in $1 billion, if this is good news and the market goes, it may well capture a lot of people who's got stop losses around that 25k level. So we'll see, right? It'll be fun. Hopefully. But we'll see how things go, yeah? Be absolutely fine. Let me just check to see if everything on my stream is working fine. It seems to be good. But no, thank you for the support, everyone. It is nice to have a lot of people here. Again, as usual, it's becoming quite a regular thing, this live stream malarkey with the CPIs, which is always good to see. But I am struggling to see... There it is, there. Got it sorted. We're okay. We're okay, we're good. But yeah, if you are new around here, feel free to hit that subscribe button because I do these quite often, realistically. Is 1 billion from CZ going to the 3 biggest cryptos really going to do much? I mean, 1 billion as an order is quite big when there's fear and at a level of resistance that may need a push. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Personally, I don't think it's going to go crazy. But we'll see. I've been wrong before with that situation. Move myself a bit lower. There we go. I'm back in line now. Anyways, let's look at the charts quickly. Well, I've got 10 minutes at least. So let me zoom out a little bit. 6-hour time frames will make more sense. So dollar is dropping. The yields on the 2-year, on the bonds and stuff like that, obviously, you're going to drop because of the bank bailout sort of situation. The banks made a lot of losses in terms of the 3 that went kaput. 2 of them were quite, well, I say 2 of them. One of them was massive. The 1.8 billion loss on Silicon Valley Bank. Pretty big. So not ideal. I will explain how that works later on if you are interested. BTC, obviously, rum. But also you got to think gold. And, you know... When we're looking at this situation, there's another thing we do need to look at is gold. And for obvious reason, when we look at gold, gold had bounced quite significantly in the course of this time frame too. And Bitcoin has also gone with it. So very interesting. Very, very interesting to see what's happening there as well. But that's due to fears. Fears and the situation with the banks is obvious. Oh, where am I going to put money? Oh, gold, silver. Yeah, crypto. Okay, go for it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that transpires in the future. But yeah, that 1 billion hasn't gone in yet. I don't know what it's going to do. We'll see. Might be fun. Might not be. Who knows? But yeah, I think if this is like consensus levels, right? Let's talk about consensus levels of 6%. that's bullish. And when we talk about rate hikes, are they going to pause the rate hikes? I don't know. And the fact that something fundamentally broke, it wasn't due to the interest rate. It was mainly due to a combination of situations, really. And most of it was because they put a lot of money in treasury bonds to mature over time. And a bank run is always going to create that. So it wasn't insolvency. It was more the fact that the bank didn't have the money at hand, but they had it, but they just didn't. They couldn't release it. And upon releasing it, they've made a huge loss, which is where the problems are. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But you've also got to factor in, and as I mentioned yesterday in my YouTube video, a lot of tech layoffs. A lot of slowness in the technology world. A lot of shortfalls for the bank's revenue system because no one's taking loans because the interest rates are high. So that's one knock-on effect with it. So it's interesting. Will you be taking any profits if you start touching 30k? Nah. I might take some, but not loads, because I like to look at the market in an open kind of view. Bear with me. Let me just make another chart so you can see shit in a different format. Bear with me. So when we look at full screenage, modage, to me, 30k BTC, yes, it's a nice place, but unless I didn't really load up massively on Bitcoin, I actually took percentage of Bitcoin out into altcoins. I've gone more altcoin heavy for this cycle. Could be fun. So we'll see how things go there. But when we're looking at the total market cap, we're still, in my opinion, fair value. I would rather take profits much higher, like at these levels, or even obviously up here. So these are like my kind of little levels of interest where I'll be taking money off the table. Feel free to copy it. It's just the reversal, Fibonacci, which is nothing groundbreaking. But if we get to 2.1 trillion, I'll be like, okay, I'll probably take some money off the table, especially if the likes of Polkadot goes to like $15 or, some of my assets mature quite nicely. I'll take 10, 20% off. But I think it's still a bit early in terms of taking profit, unless you are genuinely aggressively building your portfolio. I don't need to. I'm in a different situation for most people because I've been around for a while, so I don't really have to do it. But if you're looking to scalp or looking to buy low, sell high, rebuy back low and try and build a position, you crack on. But for me, it's still fair value range. We're still in this horrible range. This is a black swan. If we melt a low and something fundamentally breaks, we probably will fall into that level and loading up area if you're into it. If not, just, we'll see how things go. But as I mentioned before, with gold, we bounced significantly off a monster level, $1,800, give or take around that point. Huge level bounce, and so did Bitcoin actually. Interesting, but we'll see how things go. The VIX has obviously done a bit of a run as well, finally for the first time in a while. So yeah, movements are back and fear is in the market, and when there's fear, there's volatility. So I think today's gonna be spicy, and tomorrow as well. Tomorrow there's a lot of data from China coming out. That could be fun. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Only 41 people like this. Come on, guys, hit the like button. Unless you want like Journey Crypto ended up on your browse feed again after his 5-month exodus, what do you call it? Freaking holiday. Do you think we'll go lower? December and January, probably not. If nothing breaks, no. Like, we've got to look at the fact of the only reason why we're going to go low is if something genuinely breaks. And until something does break and really breaks, probably not, no. It just doesn't just go down. We've got to remember the technicals here. The technicals are actually looking relatively good for crypto. Because when we look at the likes of BTC, if we go higher today, and let's just say we break 25k, that level down here is looking further and further. It's still a long way to go. Like, something has to genuinely break there for it to happen, but we'll see how things go. But I've always said that until something breaks, I'm not going to just go, we're going to go down to zero, because the technicals are saying otherwise. Like, we've absolutely bounced off a key level here. Huge lower highs being created off the base of panic and fear of bank runs. That's a native narrative for cryptocurrency to succeed, right? Huge. Have I given up on Federal Reserve? Yes, a long time ago. In 2021, I gave up on that. Come on, lad. Keep up. Liking the new haircut? Thank you. It's pretty much the same. I've just had it cut. Needed it, to be fair. I was getting a bit out of control. Let's moon our dot, glimmer, and yeah, basically. Ooh, under 6%, one person thinks. Maybe. under 6%, the market will probably do something pretty mental. But then again, good news is bad news recently, so we'll see how things go. We'll see. But it depends on everything else, doesn't it? It's such a situational kind of data mismatch with everything. It's a bit mental. But we'll see how Bitcoin reacts. I don't like going too deep into the macro effect, but if it affects the dollar, it's going to be interesting. So that'll be the main factor. If the dollar keeps melting, it's good for crypto. If there's still panic in the air, it's probably good for crypto, essentially. The .BTC chart will be horrendously low. The Ethereum chart, hold on. If you've got some Ethereum, that's a Ethereum chart. It's on the floor. The .BTC chart is probably equally, nearly on the floor. So if Polkadot does well, you're going to obviously breed some Ethereum and BTC, sorry. Pretty decent, really. This isn't a new desk, actually. I've had this for 2 years, this desk, this sit-stand desk, but I only recently started using it more for standing up because I've had a few back problems over the last 6 months because I've knackered my back. I'm standing up a lot more now, so it's quite nice. And I'm also found myself more productive in, low-key sort of thing. So sometimes when I'm like doing stuff or looking at certain things, I tend to stand up, and it's quite helpful. Especially when I'm building like websites and platforms and stuff like learning crypto. It's quite nice. I can actually sit down and, well, not sit down, stand up and crack on, which is pretty good. Do you think the pivot has happened? No, not yet. You'll know if it's a pivot because it'll go negative. Not happening yet. They may pause though. That isn't pivot. Best altcoin you're betting on going forward. I think most people know that. We hate BTC dominance, we love alts. BTC dominance is a really good thing, but it doesn't really work as well as it should. BTC dominance was good back in the day, but USD dominance is better now. How high do you think the dominance will go? I don't think BTC dominance will go that much higher. I think maybe 50%, probably the max, maybe a little bit higher. But I think in the new bull cycle, it'll probably go down to 20% if the altcoins are still good. We're getting close to this data. So I wonder what we'll get. I'm going to say 6%, you know. I think 6%. Got a little feeling that 6% is going to happen because of the drops in gas and stuff like that. But we'll see. Might be completely wrong. Still missing one low. We'll see. But yeah. Ooh, 95 likes. Go on, get over 100. Bear market finished? Don't know yet. More of a sideways market. Right, the data should be out now. So, let's have a little look. See what we've got. Let's go on to said old Twitter on my other screen. No doubt it'll drop at some point. Randomly. %. So it is the estimate, which is pretty good. So CPI is 6% year on year, estimated 6%. US core CPI 5.5 year on year, estimated 5.5. So it's all the same. Everything has came in at estimates. So everything that you see on here is true live data, pretty much. So it's all dropped and it's all gone to the forecast levels. So that's a good start. Has the market done a boom? And it has. Look at BTC. Off we go, my son. Yields going up. Dollar is dropping. But we're only on... There we go. Yeah, so you can see it. I was on the 6 hour time frame. But there we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, boys and girls. Good results. Very, very good results. Considering where we were, considering how bad the economy has been, like... on paper, it actually shows in real time it's actually okay. But BTC is going to try and break this 25k. This is a crucial level to break, by the way. This is where there might be a short squeeze now. A lot of people have been short on 25k. There's a lot of people buried there. A lot of stop losses may get triggered now and it might just go boom. I've always said, like in my analysis over a couple of weeks ago, that 25 to 28k could be teleportation because there's a massive gap. If I go to the higher time frames to show you, if we're looking at this whole region here, there's a gap to about 28k. There's a massive fucking big old gap here where in the past we've blasted through it and we've melted through it. So we have to be very, very careful, especially if people are shorting this. It's a very dangerous area. We may not get through. We may just go for another retest. But this is strong. This is very, very strong, certainly in the early days. And the fact of the CPI data and the US market isn't open yet. We'll see how things go. But if we teleport to 28k, that would show, in my opinion, a lot of strength. And if we do camp around here for a while and continuously consolidate, the bottom's probably in, pretty much. But we'll see how things go. But yeah, looking good, yeah. Off it goes. Dollar melting. Them yields are going to be interesting today. But we'll see how things go. This might be a complete rejection. It may be a deviation. So we've got to bear that in mind as well. But if it does break 25k for real, it may well go higher because that is a monster level, as you know. But yeah, I think most people were pretty much spot on there, which is pretty interesting. But a massive volatility candle here. We'll see how things go. This is where it's going to get interesting, I think. Even if it melts from here, we're still in a nice position, realistically, because we've blown up quite a lot of interest. But the one thing I will say with crypto is the use case of mainstream media and idiots. No offense to anyone, but when Bitcoin's green, everyone wants to buy it, right? So got to be careful of that. Oh dear. But yeah, get through this, 28k probably. Even if we don't get through this, right, realistically, right, with Bitcoin, because we're blasted right the way through here, we may well have actually got some nice strong foothold around 22k again. So it'll be an interesting to see. If this is a monster deviation, it is a massive flop. It will hurt a lot of people. Luckily, I'm kind of okay with that. But the reality is, if people are FOMOing, they're going to FOMO hard at these levels. 25k break is like, oh God. It's like the last chance for people to get in realistically when you think about it. You know, we've got to think of like people that have been saying don't buy these levels, which makes sense. Don't buy the resistance. But the opportunity was literally 4 or 5 days ago. Like it was 19k 4 or 5 days ago. You know, it's crazy. But we'll see how things plan out. But we'll wait a little bit. Dollar's recovering a little bit. Well, I'll say a little bit. It's recovered it all. Yields are doing okay. Told my family to buy at 16k and they laugh, but now they want, yeah, it happens. You know, I just tend to ignore people when they ask now. It's like, well, just you do whatever. I've had a lot of people that are like, you know, I remember one of my birthdays not too long ago, like 2 years ago, when it was like near all-time highs. And everyone was asking about it then. I was like, right, cool. Don't buy it. It's far too high. And this was when it was like literally just about to break down. And then when it became good opportunities, literally 6 months ago, no, I'm not interested. Not interested. But it's still on, I think a lot of altcoins, in my opinion, are still on the edge of like fair value. Like you look at some of the big altcoins, certainly on my list here, like they're still okay. Like Polkadot $6, for example. If you are bullish on Polkadot, like that's still not a bad area considering where it was. Even the likes of, you know, BNB, $300 is still, you know, it was $600, it's still half price. There's still some stuff here that are still okay. Near Protocol, $2. Rose, for example. So there's definitely some returns here, but we all know it. When it gets really mental, all the bullish people will be talking about it, all the new people will come in, and it'll get very, very interesting. But we'll see how the whole market reacts with this, because this is good data. And the dollar's going up. So, but you got to remember as well, the stock market doesn't open until 1:30. So we've still got roughly an hour to see where the stock market's going to do with the other data and the information within that, you know, within all that kind of situation. More time to fill bags. I think so too. There's some stuff I wouldn't buy because I just don't see the point. Like BTC for me, I'm not buying. I'll accumulate BTC through profit through the BTC pairs. So if I'm holding an altcoin and it goes up massively, like the BTC pair of DOT, for example, which I showed before, I will take some profit into BTC, but I won't single-handedly just go, I'm going to buy BTC today. I was buying it like $600, so no point me buying again. What do you think of AI coins? Shit. There's no use case for them. I have not seen a use case for a, there's no crypto GPT, is there? There's no crypto Jasper or whatever. It's just like, it's all fluff and bollocks. So you've got to be very, very wary of them things. Until there's a genuine, tangible product, I'm not touching them. So far, 6%, far away from target. Don't think the bottom is in. You got to remember, inflation was nearly 10% at one point, and now it's 6%. So we're moving in the right direction. Whatever's happening is kind of working. It's just the problem that we've got is mismanagement of banking systems and mismanagement of companies that are going to blame the interest rates because they can't get loans anymore. Well, they should have managed the companies better, really. I wonder how many new pros will come in when they cut the US on-ramps. Oof. Yeah, that's the point. What about Rose? Rose is very decent. Very, very... I think Rose is really cheap. What do you think regarding the war against altcoins started by the Fed? I'm not really that bothered yet. What we've seen in the past, certainly with cryptocurrency, is more the fact of when there's like, resistance against it, we tend to flourish. And I think we're showing that over the last few weeks, essentially. So we're doing okay. Cycle is still early. Yeah. Crypto cycles seem to be pretty straightforward. It seems to be the reset from the halving into a bull cycle, into down only, into sideways, and then back into the reset. That seems to be happening every single time. I think we're in the sideways situation here. So the market's gone a bit sidewaysy, kind of. It's a bit choppy. It's not great, but you can see how we've had, obviously, the bull cycle. We've had the down only. We're sidewaysy. And then we'll probably reset into halving hype, then probably go again. It's the same every single time. It looks the same. This was a bit... this was a long bear market, but we did pull back up and then it was choppy for a bit. Then obviously COVID crashed and then boom. But again, it's the same sort. You can't really see the moves there, but it's the same sort of situation. Similar. But it may be a while yet. Be fine. Buying and staking Great British Pounds. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter anyways. It's a shit system anyways, using a third party. So they use a third party, where I've always recommended Swissborg because they use a genuine UK partner, which is actually the beneficiary name, which is your name, is the funds that are going into a place, which is your money. So they'll never stop that because it's bank transfer as well, so it's free. So you can move Great British Pound into Swissborg and you've paid a fee to convert it into crypto. With Binance, there's a fee for them to use this, as it's Skrill, and then you've got to then convert it again. So it's a double whammy, really. It's a bit shit. Hurts your bank. Oh, goodbye stock market. That's probably a delayed reaction because it will be lagging on this. Have you staked any? I'm not staking RSR. I'm not going to stake it. Not yet, anyways. I want to wait and see what happens first. What's the best exchange for non-KYC buying? It's all KYC. We're all regulated to fuck in the UK because we've got the FCA on everything. So good luck with that. It's very, very hard to get a non-KYC exchange in the UK now. Certainly if you've got your bank involved with it. I think so anyways. I think everything you need to have some sort of KYC now. Certainly in the UK. Well, the stock market had a bit of fun there, didn't it? But that'll be delayed anyways. What else is happening? What's happening on that? Anything on Twitter? Anyone said anything stupid yet? A lot of people already. First one. Oh my god, there's a shock. So what do people think will happen next in terms of this? Do you reckon the break of 25k is on? Because the stock market is currently going up right now, which I'm looking at. I'm looking on my other screen at the minute. But yeah, absolutely crazy results. I need to change my title of my video, actually, come to think of it. Bloody miles away. %. Bosh. 7% fees? Ah, bollocks to that. I don't really care about the KYC malarkey now. everyone's got my data. Don't care. I'm happily paying my taxes, so it doesn't really bother me in the slightest. I've got to anyways. I'm self-employed. I've run a company, so there's no point me hiding from anything. Look, I understand why people do want to hide from things, though, which makes sense, but crypto's changed a lot. We need to evolve. We need to kind of get in line with the rest of the system. 7% fees, though. That's crazy. Never even heard of Marg, actually. No, it's probably got very limited liquidity. BTC is going to go for another pop here, I think. Are we going to go for it? Come on. Give us some excitement on a Tuesday afternoon. How many we got still? Can't even get 206. Hello, everyone. If you're new, subscribe, please. It'll majorly help. Unless you want to see BitBoy for the rest of your life. Send it. Oh yeah, suppose Tuesday morning for most Americans if you're here. It's early for America though. Clocks have changed. Our clocks change. Oh, when do they change? 26, I think. We're back to normal. Oh dear, look at the stock market now. I know that's lagging, by the way, so it's a bit random. Who is BitBoy? It's probably best you don't know, actually. Oh, come on, Bitcoin. BTC over 25k. Oh, well done, Alice. Captain Obvious over there. Yeah, the good thing with BTC, and mentioning the long-term analysis, we literally, I mean, we are flying on certain Bitstamps flying right now, but we did hit a genuine level of absolute demand here, and we just went ping, which is good. Altcoins are starting to catch up now, which is good to see. My longs on a few of my asses on the inverse pairs will be looking incredibly tasty right now. Rose is doing well, considering it's a lower cap coin. Litecoin leading the market. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Come on. Ooh, we're starting to go now, aren't we? We've broken a new high there on the lower time frames. That's always positive. Have you heard about Kilt? I have, yes. Building a bull flag. Resubscribe to premium. Welcome back. Where's Bitcoin gone? Where's it got? Off we go. Yeah. Now this is still very much dangerous territory though, so I would be very careful. I wouldn't just FOMO in on this, because if this like does that, you're gonna get a little bit scared. But there's a lot of demand right now. I think there's a lot of fear in the market as well, and demand, which again, as I said before, green, Bitcoin, build confidence, and that people are going to talk about it. And guess what we're doing? We're talking about it, we're speculating about it. Hopefully most of us are positioned to enjoy this move. But in terms of profit taken, until certain altcoins hit certain big levels, I will not be taking much profit realistically, because I still think we're miles away from, you know, a cycle top, for example. Even if we do crash back lower, I'm in no rush. Russia buying weapons with BTC. Anyone on the exchange? I don't think Tesla's undervalued. I think it's been majorly overvalued for years, and I think it's finally come back to reality. Took its time, like. I mean, creating a new high here is huge. If we close above here, that is huge. Massive, in fact, for BTC. It needs to properly break this, though. That is a very strong momentum. That's huge momentum, that. I mean, when you think about it, like, I was struggling for content over the last week or so, like literally before Wednesday. It was getting pretty shit. All of a sudden, all this happened, and bang. That is a mental reaction. Madness. I mean, even the stable currency dominance here, we were going back up again, then all of a sudden we just rejected massively and just went, nah, we're going to continue going low in here, which is very, very interesting. So we'll see how things plan out now. But if, as I said before, like if we literally break this completely, we could teleport to 30k, 28k easily, very easily, because there's a massive gap there. And you've also got the added indication of people selling short, stop losses, they're going to get liquidated, and it's just going to go carry on going higher. But you also get as well on the other side of it, late longs. Late longs will get punished. So FOMO retail, Bloomberg, CNBC talking about, oh, look at Bitcoin, 26k, whatever, or going up to whatever. People will start getting FOMO, and that'll be it. It'll just ramp, and then someone will get wrecked. Always. It's nice to see, though. Very nice to see. Means some of us have made money somewhere, which is good, unless you're short. Or capo. It's probably destroyed right now. What was the actual percentage? It was 6%, so it was on bang on forecast. So 6.4 down to 6%, which is pretty damn positive in the context of the world right now. Yeah, people are buying into the FOMO, into the strength, the hype. People talking about it. People getting excited. Break a 25k, people will. I reckon a lot of people will say 25k is their bias flip level, if that makes sense. So, like I've always said, I said it on my Twitter not too long ago, have something that will change your bias. A lot of people use round numbers, 25k for a lot of people, 20k for a lot of people. I reckon a lot of the, I want to say stubborn bulls will probably say 25k. I flipped when this changed. So when this started going below, that's where I flipped. It's like, fuck you, I flipped. And then everyone's like, what? Why are you flipping? Because that's what you do. You know? Just the way it is. CPI, Consumer Price Index. Inflation, basically. Some sell orders for 29, yeah, well, 27.9. Yeah, people will get liquidated. I'm pretty much sure some of it's already happened. This is why we've had a bit of a boom already. I think a few people on my timeline were shorting CPI, and I'm not going to mention the names of these people, but some of them were like, fuck the macro. Doesn't mean anything. It really does. If the data is good, it will go up because it's confidence. Simple as that. I don't like to look too deep at macro, but CPI does work massively. Interest rates as well as number one. Non-farm payroll as well. Because the reason why is it affects the dollar, and if the dollar gets affected, it's going to have, you know, a reaction. So we've seen already the dollar's been dropping over the last few days. What's happened with Bitcoin? What's happened with gold? Big massive booms. Lack of confidence in the dollar because people, you know, have had some problems over the last few days. It makes sense, right? So you got to look at that as an alternative vehicle. That looks chaotic. Look at that. Imagine trading the futures this morning on that. Jesus Christ. But now it's looking pretty good, right? But look at the volatility there. Probably going to continue going lower. So we'll see how things go. Will Fed announce a new impression next week? Stop rate. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, personally. I don't know. They may pause it, but what we found out is that it wasn't due to the fact of the interest rates. It was more due to incompetence on the bank. The CVB, was it bank risk person, was like ex, I don't know, was it ex-Lehman Brothers or something daft like that? They were in a banking crisis in the past. So yeah, you would have thought they would have known something about that. But no, the problem is, and we don't know if this is true though, if every single bank in the UK, US, Canada, whatever, get a bank run, can they actually physically do it? Is this a thing? I don't know. So it's a scary thing. It's a scary one, isn't it? To think. But this is why I always say to people, diversify. Like, even if you're in one bank and you've got a lot of money in it, put some in another bank as well, because you're only insured up to so much as well. So many different things to it. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the green button on TradingView works now, which is good. I was getting a little bit worried about the red. MakerDAO is the only one that's not really recovered. However, that's probably due to the fact of the massive nosedive due to obviously what happened with USDC, but it's back to where it was anyway, so it's fine. Polkadot, come on, get in this box. Get in that box. I bought some Polkadot on like a little inverse trade that I'm doing on Learning Crypto. Like, you can follow it as a journal. I'm not taking profit there, but I'm expecting it to go there at some point. but we'll see if it makes a new high. However, the overall structure of this is pretty tasty as well. We may go way beyond that and into $10 levels, which would be nice. That'd be lovely. I'll leave that on there actually. Anyways, any more questions before I fuck off and go somewhere else? Dot just flew up. Yep. Really shows the DXY/BTC. Yeah, it does. It does happen because it's confidence and fear. Dollar strength. The way I look at it, and I know people think, oh, this is bollocks, but you got to treat Bitcoin and crypto sometimes like gold. Like, it's a risk kind of element where if there's instability in the dollar, it's not good. I mean, in some cases, if the dollar goes up, which in the last 2 years, it meant nothing because of quantitative easing, money was going in, it was belt fed. But in this situation now, it matters quite a lot. So you got to look at the dollar. I don't even think there's going to be a massive crash. I think if BTC holds a fort and continues, it's still low. And if people are looking at genuine alternatives to keep their money, they're going to look at crypto. Simple as that. Because if there is panic in the market, it's just a thing, isn't it? It's just one of those things. People will panic. They will buy gold. They will buy silver. They will buy random shit that holds value better than cash, right? And BTC could be something like that. Might actually get an actual test for once. Silvergate tokens. Silvergate as a stock has dropped from $200 down to like $2 or something. Are we seeing? Are we also seeing confidence moving from dollar to Bitcoin? Possibly, yeah. You know, it's no surprise to see that the dollar is obviously dumping like crazy. You can see on the left hand side there. This is just dumping. BTC is growing, but it's ever since that bank run happened, it's literally been like that. So it feels like people have utilized the world of crypto a little bit. I don't know how much. I've not looked at the inflows, but reality is fear creates fear. And if it's fear in this sense, BTC is a perfect example of where you can put money potentially. I think BTC is going even higher on this. 26k. Wow, bit stamp. 26k. Oh, might be live all day at this rate. Yeah, the video about gold was an interesting one. I thought I'd just do that randomly. Thinking outside the box a little bit. That gold is roughly, what, 9-10 trillion market cap in terms of the supply that we know about. BTC, can it get there? Maybe. Probably quite a jump, mine. But even if BTC was like a $3 trillion asset, for example, that's a monster, isn't it, when you think about it? We're going to the moon. I better not say something too silly because someone will clip me and then I'll look stupid. But no, I would err on the side of caution at these levels. If you are a first-time buyer, or if you're thinking, I'm going to buy Bitcoin today, you're probably better off waiting, and probably you missed the boat essentially. So just be careful. But a lot of people will be looking at this thinking, fucking look at Bitcoin. Oh, my money's going up. And they'll be like texting your friends. You'll get a message off the cat or the dog saying, how do I buy Bitcoin? Bull market's back. To be honest with you, I cannot stand Twitter when it's bullish. I can't stand it when it's bearish. It's like, I like it when it's boring. But no, it's an interesting game. It's all emotion, isn't it? But yeah. I understand why you... I bought back into crypto in December time. Like November, December, I was buying heavily. I bought my last bit in the early January, which was Ethereum. I had ADA and I sold it for something else. I'm going to redo the video of like my holdings. But I've been in position for a while. Like I've just been sitting here chilling. My rationale thought was I'm making more money staking my assets than I am by sitting in stables, because there's nowhere to put your stables realistically that's safe. So I was like, yeah, cool. I'll just make the units and just sit on my bag. So it's already low. It was all profit anyways, to be fair. So I wasn't really that bothered. So yeah, I was happy to think, right, if it goes lower, I'll buy more. If it sits and hovers around 20 to 25k for about 6 months, I'll make units for free. Happy days, right? But everyone was like, what? Why have you bought in? I was thinking to myself, I bought in ages ago, mate. Keep up. Mental. Super sustainable rally straight up. Yeah, that's a problem. A lot of these rallies that go straight up, though, certainly in crypto, if I go back in time a little bit, I'll show you something. Because this happens a lot. When you get these sustainable rallies, and this is where we get the hype cycle and the fear, and well, basically the fear in the other sense, as in this is not going to come back down. A fear of missing out, right? The FOMO, right? And it continues. Then it does pull back, and it continues going higher. It's a similar sort of thing, but the fundamentals are very, very different now, right? You got to think, right? From this bottom here, with the collapse of FTX, we've went bang, pulled back, bang again, pulled back, went bang again. There's demand here somewhere. Don't know where it's coming from, but there's definitely someone wants Bitcoin. Someone wants it to go higher, and green equals confidence. People start buying. The truck gets bigger, fatter, and then eventually the wheels will fall off at some point. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Where do you think BTC will retrace to? Depends. We need to wait to see where it stops first. Because if it does teleport to 28k, that'll be a great place. Because if it teleports to 28k, 25k could be the next level of support. And that is a big level of support, by the way. If this becomes the level, I'll be happy. And the new range, right? If we're talking about ranges, I know this is going to get really complicated for some of you. You know, we might be looking at this level here, around 30k, could be the top of the new range, and this could be the bottom of the range. And we could be floating around here for a while. That would be the perfect scenario for me, personally, just to sit there at that midway point of BTC, just sit and collect its thoughts and go from there. But we'll see. We're still a long way off that, because we've been in this range for a while now. Like, it's a bit choppy. It's been a bit shit since May last year. It's a long time when you think about it. So yeah, I'll be fine. My teacher thinks that crypto is a scam in the UK. It's because it's different. Everyone thought email was a scam. Everyone thought the car was a scam when it was horse and car. You know, imagine telling people, oh, you got to leave your horse at home and start using these little Ford automobiles. People were like, what? People thought the internet was a scam at one point. So I remember when I was younger, my parents were scared shitless of buying on the internet, thinking they were going to get their credit card stolen, or, you know, the debit card, you know, randomly pinched or whatever. You know, times change, you know, massively. Yeah, if your teacher's old, that's probably why. Not everyone gets it. There is a lot of scams in crypto, obviously. Look at YouTube, Christ. But you get the idea of terms of like molding old ideas into new ones. It's a massive concept to grasp for a lot of people. Huge. Magic numbers. Magic internet money, isn't it? Some cryptos are undervalued, some of them are not undervalued. My watch list is okay-ish, like in terms of like what I think are okay assets, which I like to keep an eye on, but there's a lot of I've not got on there, obviously. But for me, there's some interesting assets that have not moved yet, that are still developing, but there's also some shite in the top 20. So it is one of those. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I need to check my position on Bybit and see what's happening with it. This could be fun. Get my phone off my little stand. Quite like this standing up malarkey. I feel like BitBoy. Dear me, that's a lot of money already. I've only put a little position in. Nice. You can follow that on Learning Crypto if you're interested. A random experiment I'm doing. Basically inverse pairs on Bybit. Dollar cost average, treat it as a spot position, 2x leverage, see what happens. See when they cancel it. Doing alright. Oh, we're still going. Still going. Hex is not undervalued, mate. It's crap. Put it that way. What do you think about the CBN? Oh God, I can't speak. CBDCs, absolutely shocking. I hope they get binned. But it's very unlikely, isn't it? Have a good day, Crypto Hive Mind. Have fun at school or whatever you're doing. Good times. Yeah, I would love it if we can just chill out up here and that 25k does genuinely become a level, but we've got to look at that weekly time frame. I said it on my live stream, not Monday. Was it Monday? Video, I can't remember. I do that many contents now. This was a monster candle. Even though it was red, it was like a massively obvious reversal candle. Then off we go, son. Crazy numbers. So 28,000 is the next fib extension of interest. So we'll see. 28k is like 25 to 28k is a pretty big jump though. But there has been a big gap. You can see there's nothing here. It's like, go on then. Go on then. Yeah, I think the bottom's in until something fundamentally breaks. I said that weeks ago though, and everyone's like, what? Why? How? Well, until something breaks, and we broke 3 banks to be fair, so we're doing all right. Oh, it's gone even higher. This is brutal if you're a bear. I did tell people I would get bullish the lower we go. Took people for a long time to cotton onto it when I was buying stuff at 17, 18k BTCs of like, oh, putting the tweet out, bought more at $4.50. And everyone's like, it's going lower, buy at 3. Nah. Buy now, thank you. Maybe 33k disbelief rally then melt. Maybe. But it depends on how tied we are to that stock market as well. Because even though, yes, there's a genuine opportunity where we may well melt lower because of a Fed and a recession fear sort of situation, because that's what happens, right? History tells us that. However, Bitcoin has its own fundamentals. If people are still panicking for the economic climate and banks to be, solvent essentially because of potential bank runs, Bitcoin may well actually hold up pretty well in that situation. It's all what if, innit? So manage your risk. Do you expect Matic to pump upon the launch? I don't know. I think Matic is pretty overvalued-ish still, if that makes sense. It's actually held its value pretty well, whereas other assets that are in that sort of situation may well do better. Metis, for example, might do better. CPI has been released. It is 6%, so it is on target. Do you think a recession will be declared? I don't think we're going to get a recession. Just put my hands up, right? A lot of people are saying that there's not going to be a recession because the job market is strong. The job market, even like as we speak now, is still strong numbers, right? We've not had that mass unemployment situation. We've not had something that's really broken. There's been a massive unemployment situation. So until that genuinely changes, there's no recession, right? Yes, there's going to be shortfalls for stocks. Things will get worse, but it seems like only the tech world has really done layoffs. And if they're just adapting to overcome what they've obviously overdid maybe in the recession, not recession, sorry, COVID crash off situation, the whole COVID remote working bollocks, we're okay, right? So a recession doesn't come until that job market crashes, right? Until then, it's as you were, really. Because it's like a circle, isn't it? So if people lose jobs, they have no money. They have no money to buy products, which means stock market prices will fall. Then the stock market prices are falling, they're not making enough revenue, they've got to lay off more people. And it's a vicious circle, right? So until we've got one of those elements with a tick, it's not going to happen. Microsoft, I think Meta are looking at laying off more people as well. So the technology world is absolutely brutal at the minute. I think it's, I showed it on my YouTube video yesterday how many layoffs was. It's like nearly as much as 2022 already. It's like, what? Inverse head and shoulders form since May breakout in possibly. It's looking quite good though. It's looking very tasty. I don't know about the recession. I'm too young to remember the last one, if that makes sense. So like, yes, I was still alive obviously, but I wasn't in the financial world. I was still at school. So I'm still quite young. So the data of that for me, iffy. But all I know is you need a shit job market to kind of have one too. So, and the earnings weren't too bad in the last quarter as well. So I don't know. Recession's a big question mark for me still. It was looking more and more likely last year, but the job market was stronger than we thought with the data. So it's an odd one. CPI, yeah, you missed a start. Unlucky. CPI results, I kind of said 6%, but reality is it was kind of to be expected with the data we saw a couple of weeks ago, and obviously the prices as well. Look at like the fall of gas as well. Stuff like that will factor into it. Many were expecting 10k levels, not considering FTX crash proved. Yeah, as soon I always said that the Fibonacci level of 12k, 13k was going to be vitally important if we ever get there, right? We got to 15k and we showed signs of strength, and I was like, oh, that could be a really good sign of a bottom. And I openly said I think the bottom's in. And then I said, like, bottom's in until something fundamentally breaks. So we actually did recover from that point. And that consolidation, when we look at like FTX, for example, like this whole period here of this happening, we had a lot of time to look at this. The longer this happened, the more convinced I was that the bottom was in, because usually if there's going to be a horrible cataclysmic event, you're going to do that and then you're going to continue going lower. You don't stay like that for nearly, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Like, it's a long time, right? So yeah, it's like a lot of people were, and I always say that, like, you get greedy at the top and you get greedy at the bottoms. I've been guilty of being greedy at the bottoms in the past, right? And I've been burnt too many times. And I was like, average orders here. Maybe I was a bit of a different mindset because I've obviously got profit from the previous cycle. I was able to put my money in thinking, you know what, this isn't bad. I'm miles away from all-time high. I can get a good order in. But I know a lot of people on my page, a lot of people in Learning Crypto are like, I want to wait a little bit longer. So, you know, you can't predict bottoms. You can't predict tops. And as I say, you know, it's easy to say this now, but it's hard in reality, right? You've got to put your money where your mouth is at the time. And I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. I was sick of sitting on stables. I was sick of not making money on them. Like, not so much money, but yield or units on my units, right? So now I'm making passive units, which is nice, which I'm hoping will be worth more in the future. But the reality is, like, sitting on zero and just sitting there waiting for things to play out, there's no point. Like, waiting for another 5-10% drop when realistically I can put it into that yield and make more anyways. It made no sense. Yeah, it's easy to say that was a consolidation, but it looks a nice consolidation, if that makes sense. It's like this was a nice consolidation, and I was loading up here as well. Like, some of my altcoins I was buying there as well. So from like August-ish sort of time, I was like loading up, and you know, a lot of altcoins are really quite low here as well. So if we're looking like DOT, for example, you know, we've had a monster kind of consolidation for a while where we've been really fair value, below $7 for a lot of that time period. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But I went from like 70% stables down to like 20% in them lows, and then the last 20% was Ethereum, which I was quite happy to buy. You know, as long as it was under 1500, 1600, I was quite happy to buy it. But yeah, there's still quite a few people in Discord that are a little bit on the sidelines, which I understand why, but for me, I've been burnt too many times. I'd rather be exposed to the market with profit, because I've already done my recycling of money. I've already like took my money, put it into fiat, done other bits and pieces with it, sitting on it, looking to do other bits and bobs, and it didn't really affect me. But if you're new to the cycle and you're new to the kind of, you want to get those nice juicy orders, but the reality is the juicy orders don't matter when you're buying down here, because if it goes to $55 for DOT, for example, and you're like, should have bought at $7, or should have bought at $6.50 or $6.39 where it is today, you look like an idiot, really, which is not great. But we could still go lower, right? There still could be an option. This could be a complete red herring and a false dawn, right? Could be. Hopefully it's not, because I think a lot of people would love to see even a break 25k in consolidation of this. I think people will be pretty happy, and I think it will stop the toxicity on YouTube and Twitter and people calling each other out, and it just gets annoying. Key indicator when I'm bullish. Mate, if I'm bullish, people cry. If I'm bearish, people cry. I can't win. Literally, I went right at like 17k. I probably will dig out some of the tweets, and like I was like, I'm buying this, and people are like, what? Why are you buying? What's wrong with you? It's gonna go lower. You're gonna get wrecked, right? And then it was the same on the other side when I was like taking profit at the top. Like, not so much at the top, it was near the top. It was close enough. And I was like, I've made too much money, I'm going to take some money out. And I did a tweet, I think it was early December, saying I'm all out of crypto in terms of what I want to sell. And I got battered. Battered with abuse. It's going to 200k, you're an idiot. So if it goes to 200k, I've still got 30% in. If it goes up, it goes up. If it doesn't, I buy low. And this was me buying low. It took a whole year, nearly a year, to put most of my capital back in the market. It looks arrogant, but that's how cycles work. But when you've played one before, it becomes easy. So the next cycle for you guys, if you've been a part of it, you'll be fine. Realistically, you'll know. Because if you've been buying down at these levels or even lower back in like December, early January, whatever, or even November, and you look at your portfolio and you go, holy fuck, that's a lot of money, you'll be like, I'm going to take profit, and then it'll look easy. It'll look a lot easier. But the reality is, not many people want to do that. It's that whole meme with like the little guy with the balloon and he gets pulled back and it's like, I made 10x, but it can make another 10x. Oh, chaos. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I'm going to go in a minute. So it'd be nice to get a big boost on YouTube. Makes a change. I'm going to start doing obviously better quality content over the course of time. As you can see, my video production has kind of stepped up a lot. So fingers crossed. What do you think of the Ethereum tops? I don't even know. I think if I'm going to bet, though, I would say Polkadot would, with its life cycle, has the best chance to do an all-time high because it wasn't fully developed in the previous cycle, if that makes sense. So obviously $55 was the all-time high, but it wasn't fully, like, this was when the parachains were coming out. Now it's got 40 layer 1 blockchains underneath it. So that should be much better case for that. Cardano probably do well. Ethereum probably do well. But we'll see how things go. Road to 60k. Oh, mate, I had 63k likes, and like most of the people that have unsubscribed deleted accounts, like 80% of people have like deleted accounts. So they've obviously been inactive for a while. So I think Google do a purge every now and again, which is annoying. But yeah, I'm going to be starting to do more traditional market videos anyways, like little extra videos here and there, traditional market ones to get new reach, because I like doing traditional market ones too. Makes sense, because that's where I kind of came from, really. But yeah, I will look to try and get on the suggested views of other videos and hopefully bring a new breed of people in, because I think people are sick of listening to the same old people, essentially. Getting shilled to every single day. Guys, buy this coin. Buy this 100x gem, which conveniently was in the email box, which is giving you USDT to do a video on. Funny enough. Do I still like Kilt Protocol? Yeah, it's all right, to be fair. I like the links it's got with, I think, the government in Germany. There's a lot of things happening, but the ecosystem of DOT is still tiny. Like, it's still very little. It's still growing, still developing. It's one of the most developed coins out there as well, which is pretty good. Why do you think whales have been selling for the last 6 months? Don't know, actually. I don't think many of them have been selling. I think actually it's the other way around. I think they've been buying. I think the reality is a lot of people's wallets, if you look at the wallet data of Ethereum, BTC and stuff like that, it's actually been increasing, which makes sense, really. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Ash, mate, you're way late. You're like an hour late. I think prediction videos will help you. Nah, can't do prediction videos because it's bollocks. If I do it, I'll do it like this, Fibonacci sort of ones, but there's no point because they just get views of people that just want the instant gratification and spoon-fed, and they're not valued fans. Like, you guys are valued fans. Like, you're always here, you always come back. Whereas I want to build that. I want to build a fan base. I don't want to build people that just come in and go, oh, what's the prediction of this? And then they're like, they go to the bit of the video and then that's it, they're gone. Like, no value there, nothing there at all for me, for the algorithm on YouTube, for me to grow, you know, a better community for everyone to kind of, be a part of. It's pointless. So I'd rather do obvious stuff, which makes sense. You know, there's too many people that are here for instant gratification in the crypto space, especially in the financial space. But there's too many influencers that love the instant gratification, the attention, which obviously pays them money. The reality of it kind of sucks, really. This is why I got rid of my public Telegram group, because there's too much instant gratification, because it was easy to get into. It's just one of those, isn't it? Sucks. Sucks to manage it. Really, really sucks. Shine on content makes it watch it. It's a problem. The financial space, there's some really good YouTubers out there and some real interesting ones that you think to yourself, that's not a good thing to say. what do you get if you buy your Patreon? So I do a live stream. I do 3-4 extra videos per week. Community. The community is probably the best part of it in terms of the group chats and stuff. And also you get to see what I do. So I've got a journal. So in terms of the journal, it's what I do in the market. So whenever I buy, I say I'm buying this, by the way. And also like, yeah, just be able to see what I'm actually doing, which is the most obvious thing because people ask, like, I get it every single day. Well, not so much every single day, but like every comment on my YouTube videos, you probably see these like, oh, are you still holding this? Are you still buying this? Why aren't you buying this anymore? Why haven't you not mentioned this for like 6 months? It's just a nice place for me to go, right, I'm just putting it all in here. And it's a journal. It's a journal for me to get better. And I've found that with my own performance, I am even better now by journaling on the Patreon because I'm more self-aware of what I'm doing. I don't know, weirdly works for me. And you get to talk about tin foil conspiracy. I'm joking. People do talk about that in the chat, though, and it really winds me up. It's funny, but it winds me up at the same time. It's like, come on, guys. Don't talk about toothpaste or bottled water or whatever else there was. Can't remember. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go now. I've done over an hour, which is longer for me. Tap water. Bloody water. But yeah, fingers crossed this holds out. We get above and stay above and keep above 25k on the daily time frame. It's still very early. The stock market will be opening soon, so we may well get smashed back down. We'll see. Still very, very early. Don't just FOMO in on this, but people will be. Hopefully you guys are not. But I imagine... Oh, I'm not going to do it. I was going to look at YouTube thumbnails to see what the faces are like, but I better not. But yeah. Anyways, guys, have a good one. And yeah, I appreciate the turnout. It's awesome.